With the best PC games out there, it's no wonder that putting together a custom-built PC is so attractive. With all the horsepowers a gaming PC can offer, these games come with better resolutions, frame rates, and features than anything you can play on a console. Just by investing in the latest GPU, you can run the newest titles at 60 plus frames per second with ray tracing no less, throughout a swanky gaming monitor. To get you started on the next digital journey, we have collected the best PC games here, including the best stream games. Whether you want to explore the biggest open world games, go toe-to-toe with your friends in the best co-op PC games, or want to play with people on the other side of the world in the best MAOs or MOBAs, you will have a lot of fun ahead you. Before jumping into our list, if you're new on this channel, please make sure to subscribe. The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt is aging like fine wine. Even several years after it hit the streets, it's still one of the most impressive open world games that's ever existed, mixing Skyrim's unapologetic skill with Grand Theft Auto 5's incredible depth. It's such a jam-packed game, which is why it claims the top spot on our list of the best PC games in 2021. A staggering, beautiful, and an absolute time sink in a good way. The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt is not just the best PC game of 2021 or among the best open world games on PC. It might just be one of the best video games of all time. Ultra violence and constant motion meet in this post-apocalyptic dystopian game. This FPP is not for the fan of heart. It's tense, exhilarating, and you will probably die over and over trying to beat it. If you ever wanted a game that came in equal parts Doom Eternal and Mirror's Edge, you found it in Ghostrunner. The game is set in Dharma Tower, a sort of lost refuge for humanity, where you ascend the tower through platforming and katana-induced carnage to take revenge on a ruthless ruler. You do so by slicing up your enemies, dodging bullets, and using a number of unique abilities to continue making your way to the top. This is the kind of game that will leave you out of breath just playing it, and if that sounds like your kind of game, then you are in for a treat. In the next one we have World of Warcraft Shadowlands. It may be the fastest selling game this side of Cyberpunk 2077, but it's also a shot in the arm to one of the longest lasting MMOs out there. Considering World of Warcraft has 16 years under its belt, the new installment keeps things fresh by introducing not only a new story but a revamped leveling system, access to new class, and of course new areas, dungeons, and raids to explore and take part in. World of Warcraft's Shadowlands take place in the Land of the Dead, split into 5 major zones and a central hub city to explore. Whether you want to play with friends or tackle the story on your own, there's a ton of new content here to keep you occupied. Though there's plenty of new additions with the expansions, such as more character customizations and a new drop zone known as Exile's Reach for beginner players to level up. The game stays true to its RPG and MMO rules, giving you the kind of fantasy-laden vast world to explore and kill monsters, and that's kept the game alive for 16 years. Hitman 3 closes out the rebooted trilogy with another gorgeous entry that feels close to what makes these games so unique. It does not redefine the gameplay, but it does introduce 6 new maps and wraps up the story started in 2016's Hitman. Just like the previous game, Hitman 3's map will take you all over the world from Dubai and England to China and more. If you're not familiar with the gameplay of this series, you're in for a treat. As Agent 47, you play a calm and calculating hitman whose job is not to run and gun through a mob of bad guys, as most games will have you do. Instead, you move around large maps like an English manner to find and eliminate your targets quietly and undetected. On top of that, you can play the same map multiple times to find a multitude of ways or story paths to take out your targets, giving this entry as well as the previous ones the kind of replayability you don't see in most games. Monster Hunter World is one of the biggest gaming franchises you have probably never heard of for years now. With Monster Hunter World, the series broke into the mainstream and came to the PC, and now it's one of the best PC games you can play to death. Monster Hunter World puts you in the shoes of a monster hunter, and you will hunt increasingly bigger and meaner monsters, strip them for parts, and craft bigger, better armor. It's deviously simple gameplay loop that ends up being one of the most compelling and rewarding PC games you can play right now. There's an incessant onslaught of content in this game, and Capcom, the developers of this monster hunting hit, are committed to bringing a wealth of free DLC to the game, as well as a new frosty expansion in Monster Hunter World, Iceborne, if you're looking for an addictive, immersive, and most importantly, fun game to play on your own or with all your closest friends, cooperatively. Monster Hunter World is the PC game of your dreams. There's no doubt it's one of the best PC games you can buy today. If the name Norman Reedus is what got your attention when someone mentioned Death Stranding, well then you are in for a treat. However, this game is getting a lot of attention for more than just the big name attached to it, which incidentally include Mads Mikkelsen, Elias Seedorks, as Porter Sam Bridges. You bravely traverse an apocalyptic United States to deliver a valuable cargo, navigating lands overrun by terrorists, bandits, and these invisible creatures called beefsteaks. The award-winning action game is a treat to all the sense as well, thanks to its great storyline, which may be reminiscent of the current pandemic, good gameplay, fun quests, and impressive sound and visuals. The newest release from Rockstar Games was an instant hit upon release. Red Dead Redemption 2 is an engrossing western following Arthur Morgan and his gang as they try to survive a fictionalized Wild West as outlaws on the run. However, the game is much more than just that. Whether it's getting lost in the story, following through on every side quest to its conclusion, or just bonding with your host, RDR2 is one of those games where you can easily sink 50 plus hours into and still have something to do. The gameplay is stellar and the graphics are gorgeous. You can even run the game in 8K if you have the hardware. Definitely give this a look if you haven't already. Doom Eternal takes everything from the remastered Doom of 2016 and turns it up to 11. The game is intense, visually and sonically overwhelming, and is exactly what you expect a favorite dream inspired by Doom would feel like. The gameplay is a seamless first-person shooter where you trek into hell to battle an assortment of never-ending demons and reclaim and overrun Earth. Refilling your health sometimes requires quite literally tearing monsters apart, and there is some need to be creative with your weapon choice, depending on what demon you're facing. However, this game is all about creating havoc and rushing into battles as loud as brash as possible. Not only in Doom Eternal a hell of a ride, it's also a gorgeous looking game that takes advantage of the newest hardware, and it's a 2 vs 1 multiplayer mode where one player takes control of the Slayer and faces off against 2 more player-controlled demons. Microsoft's racing series is only getting better with each release, and in many ways this spin-off has exceeded the main Forza Motorsport line as the best racing games on PC at present. They're definitely more fun, adding a dash of accurate fun to the strikingly recreated cars and race tracks we have come to expect from Forza. Forza Horizon 4 is easily one of the best PC games you can buy today, and this entry brings the racing to the UK after having explored America, France, Italy, and Australia in the previous 3 installments of the franchise. Now you can rip through charming villages, seaside towns, and the city of Edinburgh by the way of many miles of the country roads and dirt tracks in between. It's fast, frantic, and a lot of fun. You can purchase Forza Horizon 5 through the Microsoft Store. It's also available as part of the Xbox Game Pass for PC. Or you can buy the Xbox One version and get a download code for PC using the Xbox Anywhere feature. If you like the idea of playing games like Dark Souls that are so hard you'll exhaust the depths of your expletive-filled vocabulary, then Nioh 2 should probably be next on your list to buy. Like From Software's games, Nioh 2 rewards you from learning the fighting systems inside and out and squeezing every advantage out of its loot, weapons and yokai skills to gain the upper hand. You can gain more and more yokai skills as you defeat enemies. You also have quite a bit of customization available to you for deeper gameplay. This sequel is a worthy follow-up to the first game, also set in a fictionalized, fantastical version of historical Japan that will have you either squealing in delight or screaming in anger. Thank you for being with us till the end of the video. If you have liked our list, please make sure to like and comment down below. And if you're new to this channel, make sure to subscribe. Stay tuned and stay blessed.